Patri Das leaps from English to Nepali, Sanskrit, Russian, Ukrainian, Hindi, and Bengali effortlessly in pursuit of his life's two main passions, Krishna and the Bhagavad Gita. If that's not extraordinary enough, he's a half Russian from his father's side and half Ukrainian from his mother's, who was a former officer of the Soviet army. He now travels the world popularizing the quintessence of India's Vedic philosophy. Prabhu spoke to Mayank Chhaya Reports during his ongoing visit to Chicago.
So wonderful.
I was reading up your quick bio, and it struck me that are you by profession a medical doctor?
Well, I am doctor of the hearts, not really.
Okay, okay. Let me begin with an interesting fact. You are a retired, voluntarily retired commando officer of the Russian army, is it?
True.
Tell me a bit about that. It's a rather extraordinary transformation from someone in the army to a Krishna devotee, as my kicker below says.
Well, it's not exactly in Russia. Everybody have compulsory to be in army. This is the rule.
Okay.
Secondary, I got some training in the army, but I decided that army of God much more powerful to
Okay.
become warrior of love and ambassador of peace. So
Okay.
because our war is with ignorance, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tishamivanukam partham aham ajnana jamtamaha asayam atma bhavasto jnana dipena bhashvataha. Jnana dipa means torchlight of knowledge.
Right.
And as we always say, it's never late to take U-turn, however long you're traveling in the wrong direction. So
Yeah.
just jab jage tab sabera, na? Whenever
जी
you
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
Whenever you woke up, that's morning. And it was striking experience when I came in touch with this wonderful knowledge of India, Vedic knowledge, which
Right.
fortunately now neglected in some places. And I decided to change my life. Because
You know,
mind is like parachute. It's working when it's open.
that's amazing. Yeah. It's interesting. I'm sorry to digress a bit, but it's once again strikes me the effortlessness with which you are switching languages. I mean, people who come from that part of the world are pretty known to do that. But in the US, when I talk to my American friends, that it's routine for people to speak three, four, five languages. They just are astonished. So I'm looking at you. I saw a couple of your videos, you talking in Nepali. This is Hindi is flawless. You just cited something in Sanskrit. You've been
Bengali.
talk. I'm sorry.
Bengali.
Oh, you speak Bengali too?
যদি ভগবানের কৃপা হবে তাহলে সব কিছু হতে পারি
Arre, arre, arre.
রাগে কৃষ্ণ মারে কে মারে কৃষ্ণ রাগে কে
You
আমি
know,
হ্যাঁ বাংলাদেশে ছিলাম ওখানে আমি কি মায়াপুরে ছিলাম কলকাতাতে ছিলাম ওখানে মন্দির
oh, I see.
I was in Mayapur actually. We have wonderful temple in Bengal.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell me about how did you come to so many languages? Is it just a natural gift or you have made an effort?
Well, no pain, no gain, as they say, right? So
Right.
to learn Sanskrit took me 15 years. So it's a endeavor. It is explained, if you know why, no need to explain what.
Right.
If you have the goal, goal. I'm always saying that every human being respected who respecting himself. So with decency, like decent living being has to have a goal, right? So A, B, C, D. Aim, behavior, character, and discipline.
Right.
Aim, behavior, A, B, C, D. And therefore, without goal, life is practically more or less useless. So I got the goal to give this knowledge to the people all over the world, and also to get their hands-on knowledge, real original knowledge in Sanskrit and Bengali, because India has such a deep culture. And I didn't want to see some second and third hand knowledge. I wanted to go to the first source of the scriptures and read it and understand, and then to share with all world. That's
Right. Uh, to bring you back to Ukraine, you were born in Ukraine, is it?
Yeah. body manufactured in Soviet Union, actually.
Okay. So, but the Ukrainian part of the Soviet Union.
Right. My father is Russian, my mother Ukrainian. So somehow I happen to be Naghar ka Naghat ka.
No, but ये तो वहाँ काफी common है ना.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so it's interesting that you've seen the Soviet era,
Correct.
and you've seen an extraordinary transformation that to now when the Russians are apparently on the brink of invading Ukraine, if the reports here are to be believed. Where do you personally, emotionally see yourself?
Well, it is explained in the Bhagavad Gita that person should see everyone as a brothers and sisters, as one family, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Suni Chaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Real man with knowledge, he can see everyone on equal level as a souls, as a brothers and sisters, as a universal peace, and to see only one source of peace. Same Krishna explaining and advocating the peace all over the world by one formula in 5th chapter, 29 shloka, text number 29, Bhuktaram Jaggatapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Getvamam Shantim Richati. So we can see that there is only one proprietor, one enjoyer, and one best friend, well-wisher of everyone. This is God. And my position is behind, to accept and embrace this position and to teach people how to love everyone. Why people fighting for nothing? Fighting brothers, fighting for what? Fighting. And this world is like rat race.
Right.
One man told me in Hong Kong once, he said, Swamiji, he said, this world is like rat race. And even you will win this rat race. At the end of the race, you still can remain as a rat.
True.
Information, no transformation. Fighting for what? Therefore, my position, proper stand is to understand that everything, all this planet, we should not destroy this planet by our ego, false ego, greed, lust. Sufficient for people's need, but not sufficient for people's greed. God created this world sufficiently for everyone. Purnam Purnasya Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. But say, as we say, by the way, man is, when it's hot, he wants cool. When it's cool, he wants hot. He always wants. My position is stand on the knowledge. And it is said that if you're not standing for something, you fall down for nothing. And try to get this knowledge. Yes.
I was once again reading up your background, and it's mentioned that your coming to ISKCON, Krishna consciousness, was through a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. When was that, and describe that encounter to me, please?
Say again?
Describe that encounter when you met the disciple that encouraged you to join the ISKCON movement.
Actually, you see, first of all, I got Bhagavad Gita.
I see.
Yes, our Swami, our Guru, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he came to Russia in 1971. In 1971, he came to Moscow for 3 days only, just for 3 days. That was very intense regime, and as you know, former Russia, Soviet Union, no religion. This is opium for the people. And somehow he sneaked in one Bhagavad Gita, just one Bhagavad Gita as it is. And he happened to give it to one boy who barely spoke any English language, but somehow or other, Baap ka beta sipai ka ghoda kuch nahi to thoda thoda. Something he did, and that spiritual transformation, explosion took place in one Bhagavad Gita. And then now we have millions of followers of Sanatana Dharma in Russia. And I got that book. And one monk, he told me, that time I was very proud man, military man.
Right.
And he told me this book for military people, how to fight the war of life. Said,
absolutely. Yeah.
And he told me, this is a book for VIP people, VIP. I said, oh, really? I'm VIP. Are you intelligent man? I said, yes, I am very intelligent. So, okay, give it to me. Very cleverly he put it. It's for military people and for VIP people. And when I came, because I finished my education in university, philosophical department in Moscow with excellency. But then I was thinking I'm very intelligent. But then when I started to read Bhagavad Gita, I came home and read one First line, Dhritarashtra Uvacha, Dharma Kshetri Kurukshetri, Samavita Yutsavaha, Mamakah Pandav Cheva Kima Kurota Sanjay. Now I can speak it. But that time when I opened, I read one line, Dhritarashtra Uvacha. For me, 5 minutes to understand what's going on here.
I see.
If it takes me 5 minutes to read one word, how much time will take to read all book? I was thinking this is not too much. This is too much. And when I completed after 1 year, I realized I am really VIP, very insignificant person.
True. When did you start learning Sanskrit?
Well, that was first day. Dhritarashtra Vacha. That was my first lesson.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And then did you formally undergo any particular training, or you did it on your own?
Mostly I started on my own, and then when I came to India, I was
Okay.
for 20 years. I was staying in monasteries. I was staying with yogis and studying in academy. In ISKCON, we have Bhaktivedanta Academy. And A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, he wrote so many books, wonderful volumes of books. Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have beautiful books. And by studying Srimad Bhagavatam, there is word by word Sanskrit meanings of each and every word. That's how I learned it.
Right. And which year did you arrive in India?
1995.
1990. And for 20 years you were in India?
More than that now.
Oh, I see. I see. Oh,
I love India. I love India. It's that your home is where your heart is.
yeah, and your heart apparently is in India.
Well, now I don't know where's my heart because I'm in Chicago, and whenever I go, it's called Vasudeva Kutumbakam. I have friends all over the world. They're like flowers. I'm trying to the garland. It's not like that, and I'm giving a small piece of heart to everyone. And now I can see I don't have heart. It's good feeling.
Right. If I were to ask you to distill down one particular aspect of not just the Bhagavad Gita, but the essence of Vedic knowledge, what would that be in your judgment after so many years of having interacted with it?
Well, in one word, it's love, universal love, to give heart. And this is the meaning of all scriptures, to love God, most of all, Krishna. And God is Krishna. Savai pum samparo dharmo yadho bhaktiralokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. This is a statement as a boiled down statement of all scriptures. Devotional, selfless, ahaituki apratihata, continuous devotional service to God. That's what will bring happiness and satisfaction to the soul, as all of us we are. We are not just bodies, we are souls. Yeah.
Right. What's your daily routine like? I mean, I can see that you interact a great deal with a lot of people on a regular basis. Part of your work is to motivate people through. I can see you have the gift of the gab. That's pretty clear. So describe to me your regular day.
Well, we wake up 3:30 morning, 3:30.
Okay.
Then we do some pranayama. Then I'm taking care of this body, taking bath. Then we have 4:30. We have beautiful arati, arati, and we're worshiping in the altar half an hour. Then we can till 5 o'clock. From 5 to 7, we're doing japa meditation. Beautiful meditation on Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then we have beautiful discussion of the scriptures, daily class in every ISKCON temple, if you can visit every.
Yeah.
From 8 to 9, we have wonderful discourse about the meaning of life based on the scriptures, not sentimentally. Then we have beautiful 200 gram Shanti, 500 gram Bhakti, kilo Ananda. Holy food offered in the altar to the God. So we have beautiful prasadam, as we call mercy of God. We're feeding people. In fact, in many places, we're feeding thousands and thousands of people, those who deprived from this opportunity to eat even. So we ISKCON feeding millions of people nowadays all over the world. Then we have very busy schedule. Usually people like today, I have 2 interviews, 2 seminars, and 1 evening lecture with our Russian community in Chicago. So that's like that, and pretty much every day in the same standard.
And do you, for instance, interact with the Russian community in Russian, or do you speak to them in English?
In Russian. Sometimes in Ukrainian. Sometimes in Ukrainian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Once again, I it's difficult for me to relate this back to some of my American friends. Someone who goes through, because language is culture at the end of the day, it's a representation of a particular culture. So when you are jumping from Ukrainian to Russian to Hindi to Sanskrit to Bengali to English, the mind boggles. Uh, Tell me your personal experience, what you feel when you do that.
You see, like in Nepal, for example, in Nepal, there is national anthem. Sayo tunga fulko hami euta mala Nepali. They say we all like beautiful flowers, all of us. We are beautiful flowers. And in fact, when you're putting these flowers together, then what will happen? It will become beautiful garland, but we need one thread. Sutre Maniganaiva, one thread. So God unites everyone, and I'm really appreciating each and every flower as a culture. Bengali, Nepali, South Indian, whatever. Everywhere I'm traveling, and I have friends all over the world, and I appreciate the qualities in each and every person who represents his culture. And I'm learning this culture, and I even wrote the poetry. I'm somehow trying to write poetry sometimes. I have some books published. So, and that's one of the poems, that we should not become flies, we have to become bumblebees. We have to learn how to collect honey from each and every flower of culture, you see. In fact, recently we had what you say, I'm attending the United Nations sometimes conferences, and they invited me actually for one conference one time to represent Sanatan Dharma view. And we had some discussion, and I requested everyone to share their, what do they feel, what they expecting from us, you see. And in one word, everyone, it was like nearly 50 people there, representative of different faiths, Muslim, Christians, and whatever, from Israel, rabbis. I said, what is your expectations as a different cultures, different religious angles? Speak to me in one word. And they spoke happiness, love, amen, whatever. And the task was to appreciate each and every culture and to compose one poem, just one poem, by
I see.
by using those words, you see. And amazingly, we had competition with all the leaders, with all the leaders. And I wrote one poem, which if you want, how you can understand how we appreciate all the cultures, but
Right.
putting poem together. Perhaps I have to check where I put it, but
Okay.
and meanwhile, I'll just read through this poem. You can,
Okay.
but it will answer the question how we can manage all the cultures being born in Ukraine. But I'm trying to be in the bumblebee consciousness to get the best things from everyone.
Right. No, it's fascinating.
Otherwise, you cannot enjoy the honey. How we can enjoy it?
Right, right. You know, coming to the Gita, it's something that a lot of Indians just grow up with. My father was a voracious reader of the Gita, and so I'm personally not even remotely religious or a believer in any sense of the word, but Gita was always around in my household.
Mhm, mhm.
And then I went on to read it, of course. One of the striking things about the Gita is there is nothing absolute in terms of its message. There is
Mhm.
always this situational logic.
Yeah,
Unlike in the Western thinking, where there are absolutes, in the Gita, things are rather flexible. They change according to a situation, which
right.
can trouble a lot of people. Even Krishna's message to Arjuna on the battlefield
Mhm, mhm.
is something that troubles a lot of people when they read it, because it is so ruthlessly pragmatic. They cannot believe that someone who's described as a godhead can come up with something like this. What is your sense of Gita's lack of absolutism?
You see, Bhagavad Gita is absolute. This is no lack of absolutism. It's like you have to see things from the bird eye view picture, from the top. There is one saying, ऊंट पहाड़ के सामने अपना स्थिति देखते हैं ना.
Hmm.
In the desert usually, camel cannot see himself as a VIP, as I said.
Right.
He cannot compare anything with anything. It's only some lizards and snakes. But when camel comes to the mountain, really mountain, then he can understand how VIP he is. So there is one, usually I'm telling the story about one bottle and the bottleneck. One time, bottleneck asked the bottle, "My dear brother bottle, you giving the water to everyone, but you never give drop to me. I'm your closest brother. I'm closest member of your family. How come I'm deprived from even one drop of water?" And bottle said, "Listen, everybody coming to me from down, and you sitting on my head. How I can give you? If you really want to understand, you have to stand understand, not upstand, understand. And there are, to understand the absolutism of Gita, absolute knowledge, param brahma, param dhamma, pavitram paramam bhavam, param brahma. To understand that, we have to have proper set of mind, and we have to stand under. And as a conclusion of my understanding, the point why people, they cannot understand the depth of this knowledge, you see, because there are three main obstacles in understanding. Three main. They are, I know that. I know that. Finish. Such person can never understand. That's why principal knowledge in 13th chapter of text number 8 to 12, Krishna explains what is knowledge actually. Amanitvam adambhitvam ahim sakshantirarjavam acharya upaasanam shaucham kshantiratvam vinigraha. He says that amanitvam, real knowledge starts with humility. That's main thing. And it's really, knowledge is not academical. You cannot just grab knowledge. I want knowledge. No, you have to
Right.
beg for knowledge. Like, you can never challenge the teacher to teach you. No, you have to be qualified. First deserve and then desire. Similarly, to get God, to give us knowledge, because he, in the heart, he understands how serious and sincere we are. But when we're telling, why, tell me who you are going, and tell me why I should believe. Wait a minute. दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे ना कोई, जो दुख में सुमिरन सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख कहे का होई. That's why it takes many lifetimes. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, yashat antakata papam jananam punya karmanam tidvan dvamoha nirmukta bhajate mam dritabrataha. To understand and enter the White House of President of America, do you think some taxi driver, anyone and everyone can enter like that? Or do you think you should not be qualified to enter that and to pass all the tests and examinations? Similarly, if you cannot enter the parliament of one small president of one small country of small planet, what to speak about supreme proprietor of all universes and all creation? Just like that. Show me your God. Who are you? Question is, who are you to understand God? Are we qualified? Are we free from lust, greed, anger, etc.? Such a polluted society nowadays. Lust, greed, violence, open internet, so many suicide rates, divorce and killing, murdering, violence, and we want to see God. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, first you have jnana dipena bhaswataha. First get knowledge, and knowledge means qualities of the heart: humility, truthfulness, non-violence, etc.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. No, I get that part. But my point was about the absolutism question was at the operational daily level. Say, for instance, in a battlefield,
Okay.
absolute moral definitions have been pretty clearly removed. What is right in one situation is not right in the next situation. It is situational logic.
Well, that's very logical. There is some law. Like, for example, you have the traffic law, right? In Russia, cars moving on, say, on right side, but in England, whatever, or India, it's left side. So there is some law. There is some law. So, and this law is absolute for everyone who living in this country, right? You cannot say, "Oh, I came from Russia. I don't care for your traffic law." No, excuse me. You have to follow in order to avoid the accidents, right? Otherwise, you'll get jail or you'll get creation of accidents on the street. So similarly, this universe is running by the smooth, precise laws of gravity, of thermodynamics, whatever. Every law, for example, of gravity is not Christian law or Muslim or Indian law. No, it's just universal law. What we are talking about absolute knowledge of the universe, right? Bhagavad Gita, this is absolutism knowledge about the principles of life, about 5 principles in Bhagavad Gita Krishna taught. Who am I? who is God, right? What is the time? What is the karma? Akarma, vikarma, nishkarma, karma. What is the activities? And what is the nature? How is it made? You see, that's absolute knowledge. And he says, by knowing these 5 aspects, everybody will become satisfied and happy. The
Right.
problem is that we are trying to argue about the, super mathematics PhD level without understanding 2 plus 2 will be 4. Very basic. Therefore,
Right.
fully to be wise where ignorance is bliss. Sometimes.
Right. To conclude our conversation, I know you have other things to do. Tell me a bit about what has brought you to Chicago. What kind of you described a little bit earlier, but how long are you here, and what kind of engagements do you plan to continue with?
You know what, Mayank, actually, first of all, I would like to read this poem which I wrote to United Nations,
Okay.
which can underline and become perfect conclusion to our discussion. And also, I'll conclude with wonderful songs because I have my friend, you can see, Russian accordion. Right?
Oh,
It will be awesome because, and it is said, you said, why did you come to Chicago? But I'll tell you one thing. I'm traveling all over the world since 30 years already, right? And I've been everything, and I've seen everyone from ministers of countries and presidents to Hollywood, Bollywood stars, whatnot. But, like I was in LA, and there is, one famous Hollywood star told, I wish that everybody should become filthy, rich, and famous like me to understand that this is not a solution. This is
I
not,
see.
that's, and what I would like to read for you as a poem is I call this poem Global Orchestra, which play music of divine love, right?
Please.
Because we are all so different and wonderful indeed. Together we grow high with the spiritual speed. Like the divine orchestra, we can produce the song which will make all world united, harmonious and strong. The spiritual symphony descending from above, with hearts united in hope and peace, will bring this divine love. In our song, we will use the words smile, unity, and joy, cooperation, love, and harmony, the darkness to destroy. Rejuvenating family, together we create to give the solace to the world before it's too much late. Create the symphony divine with love as a holy queen. Share your happiness with mine. So be it, and Amen.
Wonderful.
So this is the poem we created in United by using the words which all leaders from all over the world give us.
Right.
And that it was the time when I was going somewhere. Now I am coming to somebody. So I
Okay.
came to Chicago to my friends because they called me, right? And it is said, don't give advice unless you are hired, right? There is no point in giving advice if you're not hired. And that's the reason I came to Chicago. And we have many wonderful, beautiful people. And I love to share this knowledge with others. Whatever I learn in 30 years, I'm trying to share in 30 minutes with you and with others, friends.
That's wonderful.
And accordion.
Okay. Look forward. That's amazing.
Super, yeah. So we can have musical show also. Because mantras of India, they can be sung, you see?
They can be, yeah. That's the whole point of it.
Yes, because up there in our original home, in
Yeah.
God's place, every word is a song and every step is a dance,
That's why it's Bhagavad Gita, right? It's Geet.
Correct. And
Yeah.
believe me, if anyone, this is a month, by the way, December month, coincidentally, in few days will be Ekadashi, and that
Right.
will be the holy Ekadashi on which date Krishna, 5,000 years ago, gave knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna in December month. You see?
The song, yeah, the song Celestial, yes.
And if somebody will try to get Bhagavad Gita as it is really, it's not like advertisement, but as a suggestion.
Absolutely.
And to understand 5 things, which actually every religious movement expressing 5 things. Who am I? Who is God? What is my relationships with Him, which is yoga, connection? What is the goal of life and how to get there?
Right.
A, B, C, D. So everybody remember, you also remember A, B, C, D. Aim, behavior, character, and discipline. Remember this, otherwise money back.
Okay.
I wish today to you, my dear friend, not lose the spirit and to firmly stand, and let Lord's mercy be in all your strives. When there is no one around in your life, and one more thing, I really want to wish you be yourself, like in the water fish. With every breath, you try to serve the Lord. Destroy the darkness by the knowledge sword. Don't blame those who were lost. They are unfortunate and could not pay the cost. With those who are blind, you lend your helping hand. Krishna can see this and will understand. Don't worry profit or the loss. Surrender life to Supreme Boss. And far and wide try spread his fame by chanting sweet and holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. And Happy New Year, by the way.